celestial body in the Berlin seal is enlarged, we can see that it depicts a large, ray-emitting star surrounded by 11 heavenly bodies, planets. These, in turn, rest on a chain of 24 smaller globes. Is it only a coincidence that the number of all the moons, or satellites, of the planets in our solar system astronomers exclude those of 10 miles 01 less in diameter is also exactly 24? Now there is, of course, a catch to claiming that these depictions of the Sun and 11 planets represent our solar system. For our scholars tell us that the planetary system of which Earth is a part comprises the Sun, Earth, and Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. This adds up to the Sun and only 10 planets when the Moon is counted as one. But that is not what the Sumerians said. They claimed that our system was made up of the Sun and 11 planets counting the Moon, and held steadfastly to the opinion that, in addition to the planets known to us today, there has been a 12th member of the solar system, the home planet of the Nephilim. We shall call it the 12th planet. Before we check the accuracy of the Sumerian information, let us review the history of our own knowledge of Earth and the heavens around it. We know today that beyond the giant planets Jupiter and Saturn, at distances insignificant in terms of the universe, but immense in human terms, two more major planets, Uranus and Neptune, and the third, small one, Pluto, belong to our solar system. But such knowledge is quite recent. Uranus was discovered through the use of improved telescopes in 1781. After observing it for some 50 years, some astronomers reached the conclusion that its orbit revealed the influence of yet another planet. Guided by such mathematical calculations, the missing planet, named Neptune, was pinpointed by astronomers in 1846. Then, by the end of the 19th century, it became evident that Neptune itself was being subjected to unknown gravitational pull. Was there yet another planet in our solar system? The puzzle was solved in 1930 with the observation and location of Pluto. Up to 1780, then, and 4 centuries before that, people believed there were 7 members of our solar system: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Earth was not counted as a planet because it was believed that these other celestial bodies circled Earth, the most important celestial body created by God, with God's most important creation, man, upon it. Our textbooks generally credit Nicholas Copernicus with the discovery that Earth is only one of several planets in a heliocentric sun-centered system. Fearing the wrath of the Christian Church for challenging Earth's central position, Copernicus published his study De Revolutionibus Orbium Celestium only one on his deathbed in 1543. Spurred to re-examine centuries-old astronomical concepts primarily by the navigational needs of the Age of Discovery, and by the findings by Columbus 1492, Magellan 1520, and others, that Earth was not flat but spherical, Copernicus depended on mathematical calculations and searched for the answers in ancient writings. One of the few churchmen who supported Copernicus, Cardinal Schönberg, wrote to him in 1536, "I have learned that you know not only the groundwork of the ancient mathematical doctrines, but that you have created a new theory, according to which the earth is in motion, and it is the sun which occupies the fundamental and therefore the cardinal position." The concepts then held were based on Greek and Roman traditions that Earth, which was flat, was vaulted over by the distant heavens, in which the stars were fixed. Against the star-studded heavens the planets from the Greek word for wanderer moved around it. There were the 7 celestial bodies, from which the 7 days of the week, and their names originated: the Sun Sunday, Moon Monday, Mars Mardi, Mercury Mercredi, Jupiter Judy, Venus Vendredi, Saturn Saturday. These astronomical notions stemmed from the works and codifications of Ptolemy, an astronomer in the city of Alexandria, Egypt, in the 2nd century AD. His definite findings were that the Sun, Moon, and 5 planets moved in circles around Earth. Ptolemaic astronomy predominated for more than 1,300 years, until Copernicus put the Sun in the center. While some have called Copernicus the father of modern astronomy, others view him more as a researcher and reconstructor of earlier ideas. The fact is that he pored over the writings of Greek astronomers who preceded Ptolemy, such as Hipparchus and Aristarchus of Samos. The latter suggested in the 3rd century BC that the motions of the heavenly bodies could better be explained if the sun, and not Earth, were assumed to be in the center. In fact, 2,000 years before Copernicus, Greek astronomers listed the planets in their correct order from the sun, acknowledging thereby that the sun, not Earth, was the solar system's focal point. The heliocentric concept was only rediscovered by Copernicus, and the interesting fact is that astronomers knew more in 500 BC than in 8500 and 1500. Indeed, scholars are now hard put to explain why first the later Greeks, and then the Romans assumed that Earth was flat, rising above a layer of murky waters, below which there lay Hades or Hell, when some of the evidence left by Greek astronomers from earlier times indicates that they knew otherwise. Hipparchus, who lived in Asia Minor in the 2nd century BC, discussed the displacement of the solstitial and equinoctial sign, the phenomenon now called precession of the equinoxes. But the phenomenon can be explained only in terms of a spherical astronomy, whereby Earth is surrounded by the other celestial bodies, as a sphere within a spherical universe. Did Hipparchus, then, know that Earth was a globe, and did he make his calculations in terms of a spherical astronomy? Equally important is yet another question. The phenomenon of the precession could be observed by relating the arrival of spring to the sun's position, as seen from Earth, in a given zodiacal constellation. But the shift from one zodiacal house to another requires 2,160 years. Hipparchus certainly could not have lived long enough to make that astronomical observation. Where, then, did he obtain his information? Eudoxius of Cnidos, another Greek mathematician and astronomer who lived in Asia Minor 2 centuries before Hipparchus, designed a celestial sphere, a copy of which was set up in Rome as a statue of Atlas supporting the world. The designs on the sphere represent the zodiacal constellations. But if Eudoxius conceived the heavens as a sphere, where in relation to the heavens was Earth, did he think that the celestial globe rested on a flat Earth, a most awkward arrangement, or did he know of a spherical Earth, enveloped by a celestial sphere? The works of Eudoxius, lost in their originals, have come down to us thanks to the poems of Aratus, who in the 3rd century BC translated the facts put forth by the astronomer into poetic language. In this poem, which must have been familiar to St. Paul, who quoted from it, the constellations are described in great detail, drawn all around, and their grouping and naming is ascribed to a very remote prior age. Some men of your nomenclature thought of and devised, and appropriate forms found. Who were the men of yore to whom Eudoxius attributed the designation of the constellations? Based on certain clues in the poem, modern astronomers believe that the Greek verses describe the heavens as they were observed in Mesopotamia circa 2200 BC. The fact that both Hipparchus and Eudoxius lived in Asia Minor raises the probability that they drew their knowledge from Hittite sources. Perhaps they even visited the Hittite capital and viewed the divine procession carved on the rocks there, for among the marching gods several men hold up a globe, a sight that might well have inspired Eudoxius to sculpt Atlas and the celestial sphere.